Apple's iPhone 8 isn't launching until the fall, but you may have to wait 3 weeks or longer to get it. Bank of America Merrill Lynch citing OLED display supply issues for the delay. Other analysts cutting their estimates for iPhone shipments this year. And meanwhile, Samsung is reportedly pushing up its launch date for the Note 8 to September. Joining us to talk more about it is Scott Stein. He's senior editor at CNet. Joins us along with Andrew Martonik, who's executive editor at Android Central. So we know what you cover, Andrew. We'll begin with you. I mean, so we saw last time Samsung tried to do this, they ran into all those battery issues with the Note 7. Are they going to be able to pull this off?
Yeah, that's going to be the issue. Everybody's going to have them under a microscope here because they know what happened with the Note 8. They can't get around that. I don't think that they would push it up again if they weren't completely, entirely sure that they could make it happen this time.
So that was the Note 8. So what is this? I mean, I'm all confused with these numbers, Andrew. Where are we?
So we're going up to the Note 8. We were a little worried that they weren't going to go with the Note name again after they kind of blew it big time with the Note 7, but there's so much brand equity there after years of the Note brand that they're going to bring it back, and they're going to try to convince everyone that, you know, they figured out these battery problems.
Yeah, and Scott, they also want all the attention they may get from this. Is it, Scott, do we call it a delay of the iPhone now? What's happening?
We don't really know, and so there are definitely reports of delays, and the question even then would be how significant are the delays? You know, would it be something where the phone launch is delayed by a little bit? Would there be several different lines? Some people are saying it could be pushed really far. Others are saying it might launch with just a few features that wouldn't be active. And Apple's done that before. Apple Pay didn't launch immediately with the iPhone, and portrait mode activated later with the iPhone 7 Plus. So, you know, that's not something that would be a deal breaker, but it certainly would be frustrating. The real issue would be whether the phone comes out much later than expected.
Scott, you know, it's interesting to see Wall Street kind of trying to defend Apple a little bit today and saying, look, even if there is a bit of a delay, it probably won't change very much about the magnitude of this upgrade cycle because of the installed base and all the rest of it. But I wonder if you think that basically that's correct, that essentially there's so much kind of pent-up demand for the new models that it's going to play out over the next couple of quarters no matter how they come out with it.
I think so, because there's only one place to get the iPhone. You know, Apple sort of has this, you know, ownership over that platform. You know, with Android phones, there are a lot of other options, so that's always one thing. But also, yeah, I think if people know that it's coming, sure, they might be willing to wait a little bit. AirPods last year were one of those things where, I mean, that's not as essential as an iPhone, but it got delayed for a while, and then, you know, they seem to be selling well. So that is, you know, that's the question, is how much does it frustrate? I think if the line splits, and, you know, one rumor or one report points to possibly some iPhones launching in the fall and another higher end one coming later, I think that would be frustrating. Anything that breaks up the release cycle, because I think when you're buying an iPhone, you really do have it pegged to once a year at a certain time. And if it begins to get too staggered, you know, at what point do you decide to wait just a little bit further for the one after that? I
don't know how many people are buying it once a year, but you know, I agree, it'd probably be a little confusing, especially if it changes the holiday shipments. Andrew, there's also reports that this fancy iPhone may cost $1,200. How does that compare with Samsung pricing as they roll out the new models too?
Well, we're starting to see rumors about the Note 8 costing upward of $1,000. And when you look at the Galaxy S8 Plus currently, that's already about an $850 phone equivalent, depending on the market. So the Note is going to slot above that. You could be looking at $950 or $1,000 depending on how you spec out your Note 8. So it's not getting to that $1,200 price point, but the Note has historically been a top-end device. How are people financing and affording all this, Andrew? Well, in the U.S., it's all been about the carriers. They offer 12, 18, 24, and AT&T even offers 30-month financing for these phones to try to break it up over a long term. And Samsung offers its own financing too, which has been a big boon to its sales. It'll offer you 0%, 24-month financing too. You just buy it right from Samsung.com.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.